Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Quick Tip. I'm Chris, and I'm here with Mike. And today we'll be talking about different HotFolder workflow options for sublimation printing. So, Mike, we have two sample workflows set up to help everyone understand. If you're running a sublimation print shop, here are some options that you have to leverage the power of the Ergosoft HotFolder. So let's walk through the first scenario that just kind of provides everyone with an understanding of, hey, I have maybe a high mix, high volume type environment. How do I use the HotFolder to semi-automate my printing?
So as you can see in my hot folder here, I have 3 hot folders created. Printer 1 towels, Printer 1 blankets, and Printer 1 mouse pads, and those correspond to these 3 folders. So in this situation, what you would do is throughout the day, your art team or your online store or wherever you're getting your artwork from, the files would come in and they would be saved into these folders automatically. Any images that go into these folders will be picked up by the hot folder and processed. Now, you obviously don't want 5,000 mouse pads in one job, right? So what you would do is in the settings for the hot folder, underneath job, you have all these triggers. So what you can do, let's just say we'll talk about mouse pads, right? Maybe you want one job of mouse pads to be 100 mouse pads. So you can do number of images, right? This bottom trigger is if the number of images is reached. So you can put 100 images. And then you can also do minutes. So after the first image comes in, you could maybe put 60 minutes here. So then every hour it's going to rip a job, even if you don't get 100 images. So that's another trigger. And this trigger here is just by length. So because the mouse pads are probably all the same size, you might not need this as much, but let's just say you want to put, I don't want any of my jobs to be longer than 500 inches. You can put 500. So then if you exceed 500 inches, it will rip that job and start a new job. And then the last one on top here is print the images at a certain time. So every day at noon or 2 or whatever you want to do, you can have it rip a job no matter how many images are in the job waiting to rip. And so these are all triggers that you can use to make the jobs come over in the size and at the times that you want them to come over.
Perfect. Okay, so we're talking about a high mix, high volume type environment. I want everyone to keep in mind that this is just kind of a hyper specific example to show everyone what features are in the hot folder for the triggering specifically. As you accumulate orders, you save out your art into that product folder. And again, the hot folder name is going to call out what printer, what print environment, and also any presets that you're using. So it's super, super flexible in terms of what you can do with the hot folder because there's all those additional features in that module. So, for example, you can have a job length. You want to fill up half your roll, 300 inches. Let's say you don't hit that. You can also have a secondary trigger for time of day. If we don't hit our 300 images by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, let's start printing. And I believe, Mike, you also mentioned that there's a way to manually release jobs from the hot folder as well.
There is, yes. So if you have jobs waiting, but it hasn't hit your trigger, so it hasn't sent, this button right here on the top left will be lit up. So let's say you have it set to 100 images and 3 o'clock you want the job to send, but right now you only have 80 in there and it's only 2 o'clock, but you're like, you know what, my printer is sitting here, I should be printing something. So you can come over and click that print button and it'll send whatever is waiting in the job, and then it'll rip it and then you can print it right then.
Great. So semi-automated tool, also some nice features for manual intervention if needed. Let's take a look at the other option, which is a new feature in Ergosoft we're very excited about, which is the bulk image processing.
Yeah, so once again in the settings for the hot folder, right where we were looking before, right, with all these triggers, there's this checkbox above it that says print folder dropped on window as one job. So that's what it does. If you drop a folder like these folders here onto the hot folder window, it will process all of the images in that folder as one job. I'm gonna do one real quick here for you to show you. But where this comes in real handy is let's say you're printing, 500 mouse pads and they're all different order numbers and they're from all different sources. You can have them go all to one order folder, maybe for today. All of them are in one folder. You drop the whole folder onto the hot folder and it'll put them all in one job and you can print it and have it be done. And then if you use a preset and you use print marks, all of the order number names that are part of the file name will be listed on the top of the image so you know which one goes with which order. And as you can see here, here's our preview with all of our images in a nice grid. And this is all of the images that were in the folder. So however many images you had in your folder for however many jobs, it'll put them into one job and send it over to your RIP queue, your print queue.
And additionally, you can suspend either the ripping or the printing if you want to just ensure that your product folders or your order folders are just in the queue ready to be processed. So a very powerful tool that allows you to process many images within one folder all at the same time. Very ideal for a high mix, high volume environment or just a high volume, low mix environment as well. So thank you very much, Mike. Very exciting stuff. And thanks for watching, everyone. Please contact us if you have any questions.